Perfect Turd Podcast episode 106 Lamar. It's the Christmas movie showdown.
Yes, it is. Boy, oh boy, tis the season for us to watch some very interesting movies that have, I guess, something to do with Christmas. And
You would at least you would hope so, for God's sake. Come on.
that's a loose term. Something to do with Christmas. They kind of just threw Christmas, and even one, which we will talk about, spelled Christmas wrong, and it's
Yeah.
in their title. So it was an interesting three movies. What did we watch,
We
Joe?
watched Santa with Muscles starring Hulk Hogan, Christmas Twister starring Casper Van Dien.
Wait a minute, Christmas. Wait, I thought we watched Chris Tam's.
You think they did? I think they did that on purpose. They had to
They
have done
had
that on purpose
they either did that on purpose
because it's
or
twisted.
did this edit this was the one editor that had no idea about Christmas, so they made that mistake.
And then we watched Once Upon a Time at Christmas. Those are the three movies. And to judge which one was the best Christmas movie that we've seen this year, what are our categories, sir?
Well, we're starting off with overall story for all the movies, and then we're going to go to Christmas decorations, best use of Santa, and overall characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
well,
Well, Joe.
I got to get this one right off my chest for story here. Christmas Twister.
Yes.
Okay. It started off, I said, okay, there's a tornado coming. It's in Texas. There's a tornado coming. You have Casper Van Dien. He's a scientist. He's trying to warn everybody that this is the big one. Nobody believes him because he's done this before. He's like a climate change guy, and everyone thinks he's full of shit because he made a mistake in the past. No one listens, and a big twister comes. And it takes place at Christmas time, but Christmas has no bearing on this plot at all. You might as well just call it Winter Twister or anything Twister. It had no bearing on the plot.
I mean, at one point they go to a mall, and people go to malls because they need to buy stuff for Christmas.
Also, also it's like some of the CGI was really hokey, which is funny about this kind of movie. I like that. But this movie, other than that, it was taking itself really serious.
Oh boy.
And it was like, what the this is awful. Like, cuz I was like Christmas Twister, there'd be like Christmas trees getting caught up in the twister, and like maybe a reindeer or two or something, like some stuff from the North Pole would be coming down and shit. And I was like, it has nothing to do with anything. This movie sucks.
Let's talk about Christmas, feeling and tone. So this is taking place in Texas. In Texas, I don't know, they get snow every once in a while, but not like everywhere else. So if you call a movie Christmas Twister, wouldn't you have it like somewhere that had like snow and things of that nature?
Yeah, you would hope so, but no.
You have it in Texas, where there's no snow, nothing.
And it's at Christmas time, so we'll call it Christmas Twister, you bastards. Anyways, we should probably talk about the other plots.
Okay. We'll go to Once Upon a Time at Christmas. This one is interesting. There is a Santa that's on the loose, and he is killing people starting at what date? I guess it would be the
12 days before.
So 12 days before, and he's doing it, and the cops, I guess they finally find out, they're doing it to like the song on the 12 Days of Christmas.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that. I felt like, it took itself too seriously as well, but I found it still entertaining because there's basically a crazy Santa and Mrs. Claus, who, by the way, is just some blonde tone woman. So I guess, hey, Might as
We'll
well.
talk about her in characters. I got something to say about her.
Okay. And yeah, so they're just going around killing people. And then you have like the other characters, and this is where I think it takes it too seriously. You have like this family. Oh, what's going on? Blah blah blah. There's some trauma and all this crap.
Yeah.
And that's the part where you're just like, okay, I get it, but if you're talking about crazy Santa killing people, you
Yeah.
really don't care. You want to
It's
see
it's
Santa
goofy.
go crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because spoiler alert, like he leaves one girl alive, and we find out why is because he's her biological father, and he's like some ex-military guy that's gone crazy and escaped from a burned down insane asylum. It's like all that shit you didn't need any of it
No.
because you already had the good stuff. Like he's just running around killing people, and he thinks he's Santa, and he's with crazy Mrs. Claus. It was cool enough.
Yes.
Yeah, and then there's Santa with muscles, which plot wise, I can be a little lenient with him because it was obviously made for children. It's a children's
Yes.
movie in the '90s, so it had a lot of goofy shit in there, but it is for kids. But basically, Hulk Hogan is like a supplement salesman, basically that's become rich, and he's obnoxious. He bangs his head. He wakes up in a mall elf guy, the guy that works at the mall as an elf, convinces him that he's Santa so that he could steal his money. But
Yes.
then they go off and they end up helping like kids in an orphanage. That's basically the plot.
Yes.
The orphanage, a guy is trying to tear down the orphanage because there's like some crystals, like magic crystals underneath the orphanage. So, but it's very kiddie, but whatever. It is
Yeah.
silly, but okay. All right, well, which one had the best plot to you?
As much as I like to see Santa beating up people in the name of justice and Christmas, I have to give it to Once Upon a Time at Christmas because he was following like that song, the 12
Yeah.
Days of Christmas, and matching his murder to that. I enjoyed that. So
Okay.
I like that one. Yeah.
I agree. It actually
Yes.
had Christmas in it, and Christmas played a role in the plot. Bastards that made Christmas Twister.
Well,
All right.
let's go to Christmas decorations.
Christmas decorations. Well, you came up with this category because I didn't pay attention to the decorations in any of these movies.
Because of the lack thereof, we're gonna go with your favorite one, Christmas Twister. They just have like the setup in front of their house of like the nativity scene, and then you have we'll talk about Santa Claus later, but they just had a Santa Claus at the mall.
Yeah.
That's Christmas Twister. That's it.
Yeah. Put up a couple trees and that was about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Santa with muscles. I don't recall it too much Christmas decoration there either. Maybe there must have been something at that orphanage or something. And then they also were in a mall. So
it's the capitalism. All these movies have malls in them because really they're talking about the hyper capitalism that comes with Christmas, Joe.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I guess, at least they had snow. They did have some police station with Christmas decorations.
Yes.
So as far as setting and stuff goes, I guess I'll vote for Once Upon a Time at Christmas again for the at least decorations to Christmas setting. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, they what did the kids say? They understood the assignment. If you mention Christmas or something dealing with Christmas, you might want to decorate your movie with Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
Or put it where some place has snow.
True. Yep. All right. Well, that's a 4-0 lead so far for Once Upon a Time at Christmas. We move on. Best use of Santa. That's a tough one. We'll get it out there. Christmas Twister. There was a mall Santa in this movie that had no bearing on the plot. It was just a little quick scene. So once again, the bastards that made Christmas Twister, no vote there. Now the other two, I don't know. What do you think?
It's tough for me because I'll start off with Santa with muscles. I do like the idea of a Santa beating the living crap out of people, for kids and for Christmas and everything like that. But I have to say, I really did. And let's just get it out there. Once upon a time, Christmas's Santa was also British.
Yeah. That was
I
funny.
like that. I thought that was funny. And he's going around killing people. 12 Days of Christmas. I gotta give it to Once Upon a Time at Christmas, but it's a very slim margin because
Hmm.
I do like the idea of like a big buff Santa Claus beating the crap out of people and stuff like that. Maybe Hulk Hogan, if they had like made this movie, maybe if you got like a John Cena, someone younger or something like that, that would be cool. And then
Yeah.
we also just watched, what was the movie we just
Santa's
watched?
sleigh.
Santa Slade. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I still have to give it to Once Upon a Time at Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Santa guy in that movie was definitely fun. He had his one eye was messed up and stuff. He was a special forces guy, basically. And it's never really established. Is he crazy enough to think he is actually Santa? Which is would be kind of a twist. I guess I'm gonna give it to Santa with muscles because it was Hulk Hogan. And I thought that was kind of funny, like just to see him being Santa. And one of the children in the movie, by the way, is Mila Kunis as a young child. She was one of the
Yes, she
orphanage
is.
children, and this will kind of dovetail into characters that he was an obnoxious, he's just an asshole, and then he turns into Santa, and then at the end when he realized he's not Santa, he goes back to being himself. But he's supposed to have made that arc where he's good now, which he is, but he's still kind of an asshole, I thought. So, but I'll give it to Santa with muscles. I thought it was kind of funny with
Okay.
that. So, okay, so so far we got a 5-1 beatdown, but we'll move
Yeah.
on anyways. Best characters.
I mean, Christmas. Okay. Once again, Christmas Twister.
Yeah,
It takes place in Texas, and the one person that stands out to me is the producer woman
she was
who
good. Yeah.
has but they needed someone. Hey, beat Texas.
Yeah.
And she's like the most Texas person ever. Oh God,
And
like
I don't know. I try to look her up because I noticed the same thing. Like she was the more outstanding character,
yeah.
and I don't know if she's from Texas or whatever. I didn't get that, but I think is a Hispanic lady and stuff too. So I thought that was interesting. But she was very good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, you know what? I say this. I feel like she was super annoying because it's like we get it, lady,
yeah,
from
but that
freaking
was her
Texas,
part.
but that's who she's supposed to
Yeah.
be. So yeah, yeah,
But out of all the characters, the rest of them were bland as fuck. Even Casper Van Dien, who's good, he's a good actor. Even he was kind of just like, "Are you okay? Son." He was underutilized in this movie.
I'm sorry. What about the little kid with freckles who did the dumbest thing
Yeah,
and left the car and almost got killed?
yeah. And then his sister's like, "Don't ever do that to me again," and it was just like, eh. And like we said before with this movie, like it was taking itself so serious that it was
Yeah,
like everyone was trying so hard. And then you had that one character, the producer lady, that was over the top. She was fun.
yeah,
So she
yeah.
stuck out, it made her the standout of the movie, but everyone else was bland. Now, Once Upon a Time at Christmas, on the other hand, the guy, you had Santa and Mrs. Claus.
I want to hear what you want to say about Mrs.
Well,
Claus.
they were very over the top. They were purposely so, but
Yeah,
she was doing her best Harley Quinn meets Rob Zombie's wife in some movie impersonation. She was doing the Sherry Moon Zombie playing Harley Quinn. That
yeah.
was and I didn't like it.
You didn't.
I didn't like it. I thought it was too much.
I definitely agree with you with the Harley Quinn character because I'm like, what else are you gonna do with like
Yeah.
Santa's helper? But I didn't think it was annoying.
Okay.
I'll say that. I think okay, she's crazy too.
Yeah.
If you're riding around with a crazy Santa, then okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then you had just the other characters, the drunk sheriff. Everybody else was just kind of like, nah.
Very standard and stock.
Yeah,
He
Yeah.
was okay though. The sheriff was okay. His character was pushing the movie along, because
Yeah.
every time you went to like the family and the girl that ended up being the Santa's daughter or whatever, like I felt like the movie was coming to a halt with them. And there was
Yes.
a weird scene where she was like she was talking to one of her friends, and she was like, "Oh, did you hear so and so died?" And she was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it." And then the girl just goes, "What is it? Did you guys have sex or something?" I was like,
Oh
"What is
well.
this?" Like this, the dialogue was rough. It was like they were all trying, but the dialogue was a little rough, and the characters were a little rough. But the Santa and Mrs. Claus were over the top, so that was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Santa with muscles. As far as character goes, his character, how the movie starts off, he's like getting attacked by all these
Yeah.
guys. Like they're getting attacked, and then it turns out that he's such an asshole in life that he hires the people that work for him, like his chef and his butler, just to attack him. So he gets like a
Yeah.
workout fighting or something.
Santa with muscles had the goofiest characters. I'll say
Yeah,
that overall, because then you had like the one cop guy who is what is his name? Ron,
Ron
the
Howard's
director.
brother. Yeah.
Ron Howard's brother.
Hmm.
He was goofy. The kids are kids, whatever.
They're
And then this movie
kids.
even had like Garrett Morris, who was in like SNL and a bunch of other sitcoms like Martin,
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx show. And
Yeah.
then like the henchmen were like, this was a comic book movie. I
Yeah.
swear. This was like straight out of like a comic book.
Yeah.
And you had one character that was an evil, like was literally an evil scientist.
It's evil
You had a
scientist.
woman
Yep.
that had like electrical gloves.
Yeah.
It was like they plucked this from some type of comic book somewhere
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
And that's what saying. It's the same thing. It's like I did not see this movie as a child. I think I would have liked it as a child though, because it is very kid oriented. So man, that's what makes it hard because child Joe would probably vote for Santa with muscles.
Yes.
But I'm watching it now, and I guess I would say Once Upon a Time at Christmas did have the better characters, even still,
Yeah.
even though I found her kind of annoying, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I'll go there. Yeah.
Once upon a time at Christmas still. Oh, but I mean, Joe, you didn't like, the weatherman who the weatherman from Christmas Twister who doesn't want to listen to a scientist.
Yeah. He's like, "Well, I don't know. That movie, very disappointing. Very disappointing movie."
It's for
Bastards.
somebody. Somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, it just should have been just goofy stuff, twisters and snow and reindeers flying out of nowhere.
This is what it should have been. Okay, keep the character that's nobody believes, but it should have been like it should have been somewhere with snow. And then it should have had that one person that's like, I'm not shutting down the Christmas, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Some over the top guy,
Yeah.
like that's like that. So they're at odds, but you don't even have them. You just have a bunch of just stock people.
Yep.
That's it.
Well, the final tally, of course, Once Upon a Time at Christmas wins 7-1.
Yeah.
So a big beatdown in our
Yeah.
Christmas showdown. It always seems to happen when we do a showdown. There's one that sucks. There's one that's kind of and there's one that just shellacks everybody else.
That is the world of B movies, man. That's the mission we're on. Sometimes you have those gems, and then some you're looking at like, oh,
Yeah.
you really did this, huh? So,
all right. Well, I guess that wraps this up. The Christmas showdown. Happy holidays to everybody.
yeah.
And we'll see you soon. Peace.
Deuces. Happy holidays.